Here are your solutions to 5-1. These are the letter problems. So we're going to start with letter A. It tells us that we have a triangle of x, y, z. So the first thing I would do is make a triangle here, and I would call this angle x, this is y, and this is z. Now it tells us that the measure of angle x is 72 degrees, so write that in here, that's 72. It tells us that y is 74, so again write that in there. And now it asks us what is z, so this is what they're asking us to try and find out right here, the measure of angle z. So now that you see this here, you can see that 72 plus 74 plus z, and I'm going to change it to x here so that it doesn't look like a 2, has to equal 180 degrees. So 72 plus 74 is 146 plus x equals 180. So now we can see that we're going to subtract 146 from both sides, minus 146. We've got a nice zero pair here, and we get x. X equals 180 minus 146 is 34. So x equals 34. So our answer here is 34 degrees. Don't forget to put your degree symbol and make it nice and tiny so it's obviously not a 0, please. Let's look at letter B. We have the measures of the three angles in a triangle are in the ratio 2, 4, 6. What are the measures of the angles? Well, remember, we can look at this in this way. We can say that 2x plus 4x plus 6x, and here's where those numbers come from. 2x, 4x, 6x, those all equal 180 degrees. Well, 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 6 more, we have 12x equals 180 degrees. Clearly we have to divide both sides by 12. So we have 180 divided by 12 is 15. So if x equals 15, then 2x, that's twice that much, that's 30. So our first angle is going to be 30 degrees, and then twice that much again, or 4 times 15 would be 60, and then lastly 6 times 15 would equal 90. And if you think about it, if we add up 30, 60, and 90, we do get our 180 degrees. So here's our answer, 30, 60, 90. We have 2 times our x of 15 gives us the 30, 4 times 15 gives us the 60, and 6 times 15 gives us the 90. All right, let's look at letter C. Refer to the figure at the right. Suppose that the measure of angle 5 is 147 degrees. We'll write it right in there. We got 147 right there. Find the measure of angle 1. Well, we know that this angle plus this angle, so this is 90 degrees, plus we're going to call this x because it's our unknown. Those two added up together need to give us this 147, this exterior angle. So that equals 147. We're going to subtract 90 from both sides, subtract 90 here, and we have a zero pair. We've got x equals 57 degrees. So 57 and a nice small degree mark. Make sure you include your degrees. Here are your solutions to 5-3 guided practice. Problem number 1 asks us to find the value of x in the triangle. So we have x plus 75, this was the x, plus 60, all equals 180. Well, 75 plus 60 is 135, so x plus 135 equals 180. We're going to subtract 135 from both sides. Using our algebra rules here, we end up with x equals 45 degrees. So our answer here is 45 degrees. Problem number 2, what is the value of x in the sail of the sailboat at the right? So we have 20 degrees here, 70 here, and an unknown here. So we have x, which is our unknown, plus 20 plus 70, all has to equal 180. And we can see that 20 and 70 is 90. So we have x plus 90 equals 180. We're going to subtract 90 from both sides. This is a zero pair, and we have x equals 90 degrees. So our answer here is 90 degrees. Some of you hopefully looked at this and saw right away that this is very easily done in the head, because the 20 plus the 70 is 90, and 90 and 90 is 180, so you could see it without even doing any math. That was 90 degrees. Measures of angles LMN are in the ratio of 1 to 5. Again, we can take a look at this and say that x, that's 1x plus 2x plus 5x equals 180 degrees. So we have 1x plus 2x is 3x plus 5x is 8x equals 180 degrees. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. X equals 22.5 degrees. Now our first one was in the ratio of 1, so we know that our 1x is going to be 22.5 degrees. Don't forget your degrees. And the next one is going to be twice that, so we could double the 22 in our head. That would be 44, plus doubling a half would be 1, so that'd be 45 degrees. And now we have 22.5 times 5. 22.5 times 5 is 112.5, or 5/10, 112 and 5/10 degrees. So we have 22 and 5/10 degrees, 45 degrees, and 112.5 degrees. Problem number 4, find x in the triangle, the value of x, I should say, in the triangle. So we have 123 on the exterior angle, and here's the two remotes, so 92 plus x has to equal that 123 degrees. So we're going to subtract 92 from both sides. There's our zero pair here, and we have x equals 123 minus 92 is 31. 3 minus 2 is 1. 12 minus 9 is 31. So we have the answer here of 31. Don't forget your degree mark. Now, building on the essential question, how can you find the missing measure of an angle in a triangle if you know two of the interior angles? So the answer to that is really quite simple. If you know the interior angles, you can subtract the sum of those angles from 180 degrees. Subtract from 180 degrees and find that missing angle. All triangles always add up to 180 degrees. It's a good thing to know. Please do independent practice.